Hey everyone! What I chose to cover for our color symbolism assignment was the use of color in the movies of M. Night Shyamalan, specifically those of his now coined Eastrail 177 trilogy, which includes his films Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. I will be highlighting the use of color for three of his characters: David Dunn, Kevin Wendell Crumb, and Elijah Price. But before diving into the characters and how Shyamalan's use of color makes the audience perceive them, we first need to explore the three colors that have come to represent them, which are green, yellow, and purple, respectively. So green is a color known for being a symbol of luck, of life, and of hope. It seems to make sense why Shyamalan chose this color to represent his hero. Throughout Unbreakable, the film Shyamalan considers an origin story, the character of David is nearly always surrounded by the color green. Now, in the past, yellow was considered a sacred color. It symbolized the light of the sun, warmth, wealth, and prosperity. In this context, it makes sense why the Horde attributes acceptance of the beast with salvation. In a tweet, Shyamalan said, "I chose ochre for the beast because this color is associated with religious ceremonies. I see the beast as an evangelist, a preacher who wants to help save the broken. Yellow can also be considered a color of warning or one of caution." Lastly, the color purple. The color purple is a transformative color. It can be associated with wealth and with royalty, regarded as such because this color was once only accessible to the immensely wealthy, and it would adorn their clothes, because they could afford it. Now, when we first meet David in Unbreakable, he is wearing a yellow button-up, but following the derailment of Eastrail 177, as he walks out of the hospital, the yellow button-up has a noticeably greener hue to it. From this point onward, David is surrounded by the color green. The cabinets and walls of his house are green. His work locker is green. When he works his job as a security at the local university, he wears a green rain poncho. As we follow David through the events of Unbreakable, we might associate the repeated use of the color as a reminder that he survived a deadly event. Maybe the audience is experiencing what David sees through his eyes, a world brimming with the color green. A constant reminder that he's alive when he really shouldn't be. And given what is revealed more about the character, including marriage trouble, the temptation of infidelity, admitting to Elijah that he often wakes up sad, and the handgun he keeps hidden in his closet, being surrounded by the color of life while not wanting to live up until this point is a real slap in the face. This color evolves with David, culminating in the moment he embraces the possibility that he is a superhero as the truth. When he does this, he fully accepts his role as a protector of life and begins to wear green. Even at the end of Split and the beginning of Glass, he wears green, showing the audience he remains an active force for good. Elijah's role as the ultimate villainous mastermind is the Shyamalan twist of Unbreakable. The importance purple serves as Elijah's character color comes from its association with not only royalty, but transformation. Because of his actions, he not only creates David, but also has a hand in creating the Horde and the Beast, even if that revelation does not occur until the end of Glass. The interesting thing about Elijah is that when he's out in the real world, he cloaks himself in an earthier color palette, while his violet clothes remain mostly hidden. He remains an inconspicuous figure to both the rest of the world and the audience. It is only in his comic store where he wears and is surrounded by purple. We interpret this as Elijah feeling that he can only truly be himself away from a world where superheroes don't exist and where society demands he be much more subdued. Even the letter he leaves for David appears to be nothing more than a white envelope, but once David opens it, we see the inside is lined with a royal purple, and the plot is kickstarted. It is made clear repeatedly that Elijah chose this specific purple for himself. In a few flashbacks, we see a younger iteration of Elijah wearing quieter shades of purple. But as an adult, the purple he chooses for himself is bright and eye-catching, the kind one might associate with royalty and wealth. He embraces his worth. By the end, even though he considers he and David to be friends, he accepts his place as the villain opposite David Dunn. In many ways, Unbreakable is Elijah's origin story as much as David's. Split's Kevin Wendell Crumb is not the main character. Rather, he is portrayed as a victim that we rarely see at the forefront of his own body, instead coming to know the multitudes of personalities housed within him called the Horde. While the color yellow is ultimately the color representing the beast, not all of Kevin's personalities gravitate towards this color. The personalities closest in association to the beast will often wear his color or be seen framed by it. This way, the viewer can identify the most threatening personalities from the mostly harmless. Rather than Shyamalan choosing the color yellow to convey sickness or madness, the yellow of the beast is meant to convey spirituality. As we grow more and more familiar with the personalities of the Horde, we learn that they are devoted to the idea of the beast, amassed to seek acceptance from a world that disregards them collectively as figments of a deranged mind. When the beast is summoned near the conclusion of Split, he proceeds to violently evangelize those who are not broken by the world. In Glass, the characteristic greens, yellows, and purples adopt a more muted tone with the introduction of a new antagonist, Dr. Ellie Staple. While incarcerated for the clinically insane, the threat this particular character poses towards the hero and villains comes from her attempts to convince them that they are all delusional. In this hospital atmosphere, their once bright colors pale considerably as they are nearly undone by their own doubts. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day, guys.